Hi, and welcome to the first episode of Matching Heads. What's your startup called?
My startup is called Socio Transit.
Okay.
As the word suggests, it is something related to social networking and transiting. So we put it together as a Socio Transit. It is a peer-to-peer crowdsourcing for transferring the packages or transferring the things. So if you are traveling, for example, from somewhere to Copenhagen, from Paris to Copenhagen, and I want a French wine to be transported from there for my Christmas gift, and I see that, okay, this person is traveling, so I can get in touch with you via Socio Transit website, and you can bring it for me, and I get my gift, and you also get earnings out of it. So it's a win-win situation for traveler and for the wanderer.
So who is the early set of users for this service?
As of now, we made a lean canvas, for example, to see and to know who would be the users. So as of now, the users are categorized as the tech-savvy travelers between the age from 18 to 45.
What do you mean tax-savvy?
The people who are well versed with internet, who use it more and more for many things, and who are good users for, let us say, when this thing started, the crowdsourcing, the pioneers of it are, we consider like eBay, who started this something in which people post their things and they sell the things.
But even with eBay, they started with a certain niche. So I'm wondering, is there a certain niche that would make sense as your first customers? Like, is it people from India to Denmark only, or something? You know,
it is as of now we are globally open, but after meeting many judges in the competitions and investors, we were suggested to concentrate on certain segments of routes. So we are now typically concentrating between India and Copenhagen, and mainly from India it is Mumbai, Copenhagen, Delhi, Copenhagen.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Just 1 week before, we also had another thought.
1 week before today, or before these competitions?
Before today.
Okay.
And now what we were thinking, myself and I have my co-founder.
Okay. How many people in the company?
As of now, we are a team of 4 people.
Okay, so that's what, 2 developers and...
2 are designers.
Okay.
And developing we are doing with a company based in Bangalore.
Okay.
And one lady from UK, she is looking after marketing. And myself, yeah.
And then how did this idea even come about, though, for the Socio Transit?
Yeah. So when I came here, and then my portfolio in a company was such that I used to travel a lot.
So, because you were going from India to Copenhagen all the time?
Yeah, India to Copenhagen is one sector.
Okay.
Plus, because I was a sales guy, and my company is a project company, current company, we have projects all over. in Estonia, in Turkey, all over Europe
this company
now. And then my traveling suddenly was increasing a lot, and I started visiting many places. Within 1 month, there were the days when I start at morning here in Copenhagen, having breakfast at the airport, having some lunch in Berlin or Frankfurt, and then dinner.
Did you like that?
Yeah. That is what I like actually. So when this opportunity came, I was really crazy. I jumped and came in here. So starting from Copenhagen and lunch in the Berlin and dinner in Istanbul. So it was a very fast and traveling life. Meeting the customers.
That's James Bond.
Meeting the customers, making the presentations, and always being suited, booted and polished shoes. So it was very nice. But then, when I am back in Copenhagen, I really miss something, and that is the stuff from home, or the things from home. So the idea stuck was that why can't, there are so many flights coming every day.
Hang on, before we go there, so if the problem is you miss stuff from home, there's a lot of Asian shops here. Now, have you been to them?
I have been to them, yes.
Okay, and do they have anything that you need, like they have pickle, achar, and they have...
They have
and they have, all the local brands from India itself.
Yeah, so they have, but they have everything which is more commercialized, or they have everything that earns them more money. But I give you a very simple example. There is a thriving Indian community in Copenhagen who are working IT professionals or working people. Now, once there is a small community or small gathering, and they had planned some festival for themselves, within themselves, and they needed very...
How many people are we talking about here?
It was a get-together of around 100 people.
Okay.
They needed certain stuff.
From India or from the same city?
From India.
Okay.
Yeah. And they needed some stuff to do some, they have some religious festival, and they need something for that purpose.
Oh, like Diwali.
Yeah. And in Diwali, they need, for example, certain lamps which are made from the mud lamps. And a color, we call it rangoli, to put a color design in front. That kind of stuff you cannot find it here.
Okay.
Even in the Indian stores, you can't find that. Then this is just one example in which they came to social transit, and there was a traveler already traveling, and we managed to get it from India very fast and very quick.
But how did you do it? Before you even did it, you must have just phoned someone up and said, "Can you bring this?"
Yeah.
Is that how it started?
Yeah, it started with one of my friends who was traveling from India. Within very short time, before the function was happening, and he bought it from there, and he bought it in, say, 100 crores, but these people were ready to pay him 600 crores for that.
Okay.
Because, and then that guy also earned out of it. The main motive was the gathering of the 100 people. They celebrated a big festival in a big way because of that stuff which came in. That is only one example, but now if we see the users, there are users, and initially we used to connect the users, and there was one lady who needed some slimming pills from USA, and this Niral, who is the co-founder, he was in US and he helped to bring it for her, which are not available here, and she is from US. She didn't wanted to change the brand, she wanted the same pills. And then there are something like nutraceutical supplements for slimming the body, and he brought it for her. So there are the commercial things, everybody sell it, and we have shops all over the world for everything nowadays. But when it comes to exotic things, or to bring the things at a cheaper rate and the faster rates, so one of my friend who forgot his phone when he was living in an apartment. It has all his numbers and everything.
His apartment where in India?
He is in Copenhagen actually. He went to Berlin and he stayed in an Airbnb apartment, and he forgot his phone, and he came in, and then he realized that now what is to be done. And when you go to the courier company, they take at least 3 days to bring the stuff. Plus they charge very heavily. It's really.
But if you're going to ask someone to bring your phone,
Yeah.
don't you surely have to? You have to pay them for their time because they have to go to the apartment, talk to the landlord, get the phone as well.
Yeah. The one who is traveling, he first of all he will see that is the apartment near to my place. First the thing starts is two people come on the website and then we have our internal chat protocol built internally. So they first of all, one person can send multiple requests. So the person who fits in that category or who feels that I can do it, he will only step forward and tell that, okay, I am coming Copenhagen tomorrow and I have little free time in the evening. I stay nearby. I will do it. I will go and pick it up and bring it for you. So, first of all,
how much would it cost if I had something in Copenhagen?
Yeah.
Like I mean, I can imagine people bringing things from India to Copenhagen, but not the other way.
There are like.
But how much would they pay for it? Because someone in Copenhagen,
Yeah.
it would be, they'll value their time much more expensive.
Yeah.
Than someone who's in India.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I'm in India and I want to order something, I might be paying 100 times what it costs in the shop in India.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what about some things like there was one case which we recently had was in Denmark. What is if somebody goes to Denmark from India, and if you ask him that what you will bring back for me, and he says I will bring Danish cookies for you, because Danish cookies are very famous and popular.
But you can get them in India, or not?
I don't think for Danish cookies in some of the duty-free zones, I don't know, might be, but not in the shops. No, not in normal shops, or some type of special, some special chocolates, let us say, or.
But this is an interesting thing here, because what I see here is if you can. I mean, firstly, I think so. The target customers, it's not everyone. It's people who are expats, and they, like, for example, here I'm born in the UK, and there's something called Marmite, and it's banned in Denmark. But it would be good to have someone bring it over. And there's certain things I can only get in UK.
Yeah.
So it's for people who are living in another country, which isn't their home. But I think where I'm seeing the value is if you start to find there's certain goods that people are taking back all the time, maybe that's an opportunity to say, like, if for example, if someone's always ordering Danish cookies, just as an example, from Denmark to India, and if you're getting if you get to the volume where you're getting, say, 50 or 100 a week, then you can actually say, okay, you can go to the company as well and say, by the way, this is something you should think of selling in Denmark, because we're starting to see people actually having demand to send it over. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that happens. We need to have then many users using it to derive such statistics, which is also one of our plans in future, where we can churn out very good trade journals or something which helps those particular segment of industry. I was just reading in the morning.
So right now you're just trying to get the users?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are trying to get the users, and I feel that this social networking or the shared economy is not a very small thing to be ignored, because today we see that it is engulfing a huge segment of trade and business. We have carpooling companies which are coming up every 1 or 2 months. We have a new company, and most of them are doing good. They are thriving. If you see, if this internet and the shared economy concept might have came before industrialization era, we all have passed through industrialization era. But if this would have come before that, we would not have seen the mass production at all, because then the people will be helping each other with their own things which they are not using. So if we need, say, we have guests at home today and we need 20 chairs. We don't need to go and buy it if we have a website which says that people are renting out their chairs which are extra with them.
But people don't want to do that. I mean, people don't want everything to be shared.
Not
they don't want their bed to be shared. They say, I'm going to sleep I do the night shift, I'll sleep in the day. They're not going to, and with other things, they don't want their toothbrush or something.
No, not up to that level.
But even chairs, people don't want to share chairs and tables, because then they have to move it as well.
Yeah, but people do share their one extra bedroom, for example, now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, they always have people, have
Yeah.
a lodger. I mean, that's not just with Airbnb. That's been going on for hundreds, thousands of years. People.
So in social transit, what we see that people are already doing social transiting. We are just providing them platform to do it in a better way.
So could you make an API like what are they called? Do you know something called Ship in California? SHYP. And what they're doing is there's a few services like this where they're providing APIs, so you can say, I want this good to be transferred from this address to this address.
Yeah.
So they literally have a computer system API call, and one computer calls another and it returns a price and it ships the item with no human intervention. You don't have to phone anyone or chat to anyone. So in a way, it's not social in that way.
No.
So could there be like an API where you could say, okay, I have an API call. I want this from this location in India to this location in UK or Denmark. Get me the price, and if the price is there, I say accept the shipment.
Yeah.
Is this something you've thought about?
No. Okay. Not as of now.
Okay.
But we now as at this stage, our struggle is at least to get this critical mass of people, the happy 1% users. Not many users who say that I like them fairly, but very few people who say that we like them very much.
Okay.
And then to slowly scale up and we have thought of future plans, how to make it big and have the transport depots at the busy airports, and so the people can just come and drop their things and we can deliver from there locally. But that will.
But tell me about the struggle. How hard is it to get those initial users?
It was a huge.
How long has this been going now?
It's now around 2 years.
Okay, and
now,
before you started, did you think it would be this hard?
I didn't.
What did you think would happen in your mind?
I will tell you, it is a very funny story. What I thought was, the day when we have website running and we post something on the Facebook and on the meetup group and on internations organization or something where we have experts, and then we will be having users coming in, and then I was really
build it and they will come.
They will come, and I was worrying that what will happen if we have so many users, we will not be able to manage. There will be
how will we scale?
Yeah, how will we scale up? There will be some cases of the items going missing, and I was literally worrying for the different part. But I didn't knew that getting the users is
a hard part. I think this is the thing, because people have this idea and they go into it and they think people are gonna jump to it, and they.
I will tell you the struggle.
Starts on day one and no one comes.
No one comes. No one comes literally. You need to sign up. You need to call your close relatives, your brother and father to.
Yeah, this is what I want to get to, because this is the real thing of being an entrepreneur. This is the stuff you have to deal with.
Yeah, it was very
So you were telling us about the struggle. Now, what happens when you start your website?
Yeah.
What is your expectation of what actually happens?
When we started our website, we designed it very simple first cut of it, and then we made it public. So first we made a small version, tested between both of us.
And how long did this take?
The developing took around 15-20 days. There were many calls with the developer and the changes. Many small changes to be done, like correcting the font size and spelling mistakes, and major time also took because it is a transiting between the borders. We had to make a very detailed terms and conditions and the policies.
Is it English only or Hindi?
It is currently everything is just in English, the whole website.
And where did you say you're from? Gujarat?
From Gujarat.
So you're using Gujarati as well?
No.
Just English?
Just English, one language. We have made a database ready for 3 other languages, but we have not uploaded that yet.
Okay.
We are waiting to move it to the next level when we have a proper investment coming in. But we do have now 3 other languages which are ready and proofread, but we have not yet put it. When we started this first cut of the website and we make it live, and then at the same night when I went to sleep, I was literally thinking that if we have made it little some advertisement somewhere, and there is so much of latent need of transiting the things, everybody requires this service, it is a need of the hour, and then everybody will come, and in the next morning when I will check it, then there will be users, because I posted it on multiple Facebook groups and many emails on the address book, and then we were very happy that we will be seeing traffic coming in.
Okay, so what actually happened when you woke up, if you slept at all?
It was nothing actually, not a single trip.
And did you think there was something wrong with the server? Or?
We thought that was very shocking in the morning to see that none of the users we expected, they signed up or they put a trip. We were having this very critical egg and chicken problem.
Chicken and egg.
Chicken and egg problem. That if there are wanters, there will be travelers.
We'll call it the egg and chicken. That's
yeah.
yeah.
And if there are travelers, there will be wanters. But now we need to start to think now what is to be done. And when we hired a developer, we were having a team of designer and a marketing guy. We had a developer who needs much instruction every day for every small thing. And we soon realized that they were a professional developing company, not only one guy whom we hired to do our job. So we were running out of money. In Copenhagen, I had a very small apartment. It's a 1-bedroom apartment. And then there was a small dining area, which was a little away from the main room. We put a curtain in between, and then we put that small area on a website to sublet. And then we started getting some people who came in and who lived there, some students, and it was generating good amount of money, from which we were able to sustain our business actually. Now there were some competitions coming in.
Competitions? What do you mean? Other companies doing the same thing? Or?
The startup competitions in which...
startup competitions.
Yeah. So then we started participating one by one.
What was the reason you started? Because, okay, so you started, you expected all these users to come in. It's not shocking for me, because this happens every time, I think.
Yeah.
And,
but for us, actually it was very shocking, because even we were calling our relatives, our brother and our friends to put on the trip. They did once or twice, and when the date goes when the day passes on, if they have planned a travel on some date and that date passes, then the trip goes off actually, and then you are again having empty, no list of the trips. So they also stopped putting it then. So earlier we were able to, when we called many people and we requested again and again, we were going up to 75 trips. And then after 1 month, it was again 10 trips, 9 trips.
So people go there and say, I'm travelling on this day.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once the date of the travel has gone and they have travelled and nobody contacted them. So
you had to find people who wanted something to come over.
Yeah. So main purpose of participating in the competition was, if we win the competition, then there was always a prize associated with the competition, which will help us to hire somebody full time.
But how's that going to solve the problem of finding people who want something to draw over?
See, the circle that we entered into was that we didn't have full timers working on the project.
Okay.
And in competition, when we go, we have people sitting as an audience who listen to the idea, who hear the name of the website, and they might go on the website and start using it. So it was also marketing strategy to participate in many competitions.
But the sort of people who are at these competitions, they're not foreigners, so they might not be your target market, or is that?
They are also. In fact, what happens is we are not only talking about cross-border things, but if somebody is traveling from city center to Glalsex or to Braunschweig, and if the person wants something from the city center, and if there are local trips there, for example, I am coming here for an interview, and I forgot the main door key of this building, and now I don't have time to go back and bring it. But if the service is matured stage, there are users posting their internal travels also.
So this is the chicken and egg problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need to. So this isn't just for country to country. This is internal.
Internal
as well.
also, and it is not only for the flights. It can also be for the cars or bikes or boats, trains, any type of travel. It is like finding your courier guy who can help to bring it anything from anywhere, locally or within the states. In India, we have so many states.
But does it make sense to focus on one of the niches where there's the most demand first?
Yeah.
So you're telling me you went to these competitions. So
yeah.
what did you gain? What was the reaction to your pitch from the competitions?
Yeah.
Was it good or bad, and what did you learn?
Yeah, the competition participation was very good. To learn the things, to get the critical advice from many.
What did you learn? What was the main thing?
Main thing was how to create the trust in the community. That was the major question we were facing again and again and again. And then when we devised our new page, and when we designed new website, we put the major focus on the trust and safety. What are our 5 pillars of trust?
Did that make a difference?
That did make a difference. Whenever judges are coming after seeing the website, now they know that trust and safety has been talked so many times, and they have taken steps for it. So we are now facing less and less questions about it.
Okay.
That was very good. When we after 2 or 3 competitions within Copenhagen, we were selected by Launchpad, a program which was organized by Danish Ministry of Commerce. There they need one person from the participant company to be full-time on the program, and I could not be that person. So then my co-founder Niral, he came here, and he was staying 1 year here, and we did many things to with a very limited resources. We brought some puncture kits for the bikes, because we see there are many bikes in the Copenhagen, and we brought 100 puncture kits, and we made a stall at the bridge, the Queen's Bridge, Ellis Bridge, on one good summer day, and we had some beer bottles, so that people will come and stop by to have a beer at least. And then we asked them to fill a form, explain the idea, because it is a very rush hour on that bridge in the evening. And then we were giving them this gratis puncture kit, and we tell them that we brought it from India at only 3 crowns, which you buy here.
So you were showing the value to people.
Yes.
And what was
there? After doing, we went again and again doing such activity on that bridge.
Yeah.
And when we come back and see the Google Analytics, then there was a spike. The people used to go and see it. They shared their email addresses to us, so we create their profile, and we give them ready-made profile with their passwords, which they can change it. So that was also what we started doing.
Were these Danish people, or were they? Because
It was mixed people.
Okay.
So Danish and outsiders also.
Okay, so what happened then?
Then when we were on the Launchpad program, we had many meetings and many competitions going on, and we were competing among other entrepreneurs which were on the program. And then we were to pitch our ideas with the investors.
How was that? Was that?
Yeah. So when we started meeting investors in Copenhagen or in Sweden, as well as in US, we were meeting the investors in the Silicon Valley and flying from east coast to west coast. There were instances where we are sitting whole night mailing all possible good investors we can find on the internet.
How did you decide on who'd be a good investor?
If we see their previous track record, if they are funding similar kind of companies,
Okay.
and then we see that they are into tech funding, they are into web service funding, or if somebody comes to us and says that after the competition that you try to contact this guy, I think out of 100 emails, if we put in a percentage, if we make 100 emails, we hear back only from 10 to 15%. So that is the
That's
first.
quite good. That's quite good.
Yeah, that is the first filter out stage. Now, after these 15 people who ask us to send our details, send the business plan and the pitch deck, let us say 2 or 3 maximum, they call for the meeting. The meeting can be phone meeting or the Skype meeting or meeting them there.
So who were they? Were they VCs? Were they companies like
They were
like Benchmark Capital, or were they people? Were they angel investors, or were they?
They were mainly angel investors.
Okay, so people who had a startup and sold it, and
Yeah.
now they were looking to invest again.
Yeah.
And within Denmark, or how many were within Denmark that you met?
Within Denmark, we met only 2 people.
And outside?
In US, we met around 5.
That's interesting. What do you think of the side note? What do you think of the whole difference between investment in Denmark compared to the US? What's your view on that? Because some people have the view that if you want to start a company, just go to Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Is that a valid view?
Yeah, it's very valid view.
Why?
There, in here, the investors are little bit conservative in funding or in putting the trust 100%. While in Silicon Valley, the risk-taking behavior of investors is higher. They take higher risk.
And why do you think that is? I have my own personal theory, but what's...
Yeah. I think because they are bigger economy, and before coming or meeting us, if they are already successful in their previous experiences, the culture, the ecosystem of startup that is thriving in Silicon Valley is bigger, and people are now at the, if we consider a generation of booking profit and going ahead, they already have booked profit on 2-3 projects. So now, first of all, they have bigger experience, bigger risk-taking ability, and they have money put in many baskets, which is not the case here. Here we have less number of startups, first of all, comparatively, and then the investors who have seen successful companies being built is also less here.
But that's the way the VC funds work in the States, is they might invest in, say, 100 companies, and
Yeah.
they
And
need
then
5 of them to
yeah.
do well, and the rest of them get sold early or
Yeah.
fail, and that's fine. They
Yeah.
only care about those 5.
Yeah.
So they don't care about a moderately successful company, but they want a company that takes off in a big way.
Yes.
Okay, so you went to the launch pad,
Yeah.
and then through that you got to go to the States and that,
Yeah.
and then how did your company change as a result of all these meetings? Like, did you have a business plan you take to them, or did they ignore it? What was the Are you an angel list, by the way?
No.
Okay, that might make sense to
Yeah.
me.
We did started our campaign on Kickstarter,
Okay.
and then
okay.
we aim to raise $250,000.
Yeah.
But only what we could get was from our friends and relatives, because then we learned the lesson that if you have a product or if you have an item to sell, then the crowdsourcing platforms for funding is good, because the people know that at the end of the campaign they will be getting something at least. In service, you need a different type of strategy.
Sure, that makes sense.
So
yeah.
so then it didn't work well actually. So it failed. And
what does that do to you as an entrepreneur when you fail? I mean, do you take it so personally, or like how many times did you just think, I'll just quit?
Many times that thought do come, because at the end of the day, if you are a sensitive human person, and then since 2 years you keep on putting efforts and you keep on going away from family and giving all the time to develop your idea, and many times it just bends down, it goes down. Even if you expect something very good, it doesn't turn out even 1% of that.
So what do you think about all these people now? You see so like entrepreneurs are like the new hippies, and everyone wants to do it, but they don't realise how hard it is. I mean, what do you think about all these people who are going into it? Do you think they're setting themselves up for disappointment because because they think they're going to be a billionaire or the next Mark Zuckerberg or something?
Whenever you see somebody who is successful, all they have the stories of lots of failure at the background to make one success. So there are always every morning you start thinking that, am I going in the right direction? Should I do it, or shall I quit and do something which is more comfortable and secure with small rewards, or I should do something which is out of the comfort zone, which may give big rewards, but I'm not sure. It may or it may not. So that there is a certain part in the brain of such people who are working on a new thing. They have that special, I forgot the actual name of that in medical terms, but they do have that which keeps on coming back, and
they're crazy.
Yeah. They go on and go on, even though they are failure.
Yeah.
The family says that stop it. Just
how is your family? Because you know, I mean, I'm half Indian, so I know that if you're in an Indian family, they want you to aspire to be a dentist or a doctor or something like that, and anything else is really a failure.
Yeah.
Maybe today a computer program is not a failure anymore.
Yeah.
What do they say?
For my wife, she is very cooperative. She doesn't. She says that if you feel it like doing, then it's okay. You go ahead. But my parents or my relatives, when we talk, then they do sometimes try to say that why are you doing this? You focus on other things where you can work 9 to 5 and earn your bread. You are in Copenhagen where the salaries are high, so
but expenses are high too.
Expenses are high too.
Yeah. Super high.
So you start facing. First of all, you need to fight with yourself to keep going. That is your internal own fight, and then when you resist it and you come against it, you need to fight with different agencies within the system. You need to get the users. You need good marketing people. I hired some freelancers on online platform, and the freelancers do not have such a great commitment to the job as an employee should have. But to have an employee, you need to pay him every month, which you can't do when you are not generating profits. So the case happened that the freelancer was not working actually, and when I asked the freelancer to stop working on the project, and I demanded the money back, because we need to pay certain amount to hire a freelancer and then he starts working. He was a US based freelancer, and when I asked the money back, then he deleted his profile from that.
But had he done some work?
No, he didn't did anything. But after doing this, I don't know what caused.
This is a common source of conflict.
Yeah. But I don't know what hurt him or what caused his ego hurt.
Yeah.
He started making negative publicity, and then it was another. Every morning you start with there are 100 camels who are standing. You want them to sit, but you cannot have all the camels sitting.
Yeah.
You know, there are 50% standing up always.
Yeah. So let's just say, so if this thing, if social transit, if you start to generate users, it's all very good, but let me give you like devil's advocate question is, what would you do if everything exploded and it all went bad and you shut down? Would you ever do it again?
I will.
Okay, see, that's the answer I was looking for, because a lot of people, they want to do a company, they try one, when it doesn't work, that's it, they pack up shop.
Yeah.
And these are the people who probably should never get back, never have gone into it in the first place.
Yeah, there will be, when you fail, then you are a successful failure. So it is your success, but it is called a successful failure. So you learn lots of lessons which you can implement in a second failure. So
people actually hate failure, but the
Yeah.
thing is, if you fail and you don't change anything, then it's
yeah,
just stupidity.
yeah. So now if I will make it work, and if it doesn't, then there are some 2 or 3 other ideas that are lined up. So if
Are they in the same space or?
they are not exactly in the same space and not in the same market, but coming back to the talk that we were having earlier, that if every big company is eyeing India as a market because of 1250 million people there, we are also now little changing our scenario and focus. That why can't we just focus the major sectors in which the flights are flying within India? So this is a plan B now, because international borders and international customers, if they will, first of all, it's a new service. Nobody will give their credit card details or PayPal details to us. Once we are successful within Indian community, for example, then people might start taking it. So now we might try that in India, because we know Indian people, we know Indian mentality, to what they will get attracted to, how they will use it. So,
okay, one thing I'm thinking, because we always, when we've had the events, we always try and get entrepreneurs together to, exchange ideas. Like another company we know, DriveMe.ng, which is a taxi type service in Nigeria. So one thing that they have tried is giving out flyers in airports and things like that, because these are your target market, and these are people who, when they get to the other end, they might say, "Oh, I forgot this. Is this something that might make sense?" And maybe I can put you in touch with the person, with someone in the company, and you can ask them how they've done that.
Yeah. On the airports, we have still avoided to go, because when you enter the airport, there is a constant announcement going that if you are traveling with somebody else thing or stuff, then you are not advised to do that because of your and airport security.
But that's to stop people from sending drugs over. But if someone buys something, okay, so there's two things. One is, if I'm travelling from a country A to B, if I'm bringing someone's broken iPhone, that could be a risk, because they could have put some cocaine in it or something, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I'm buying a new item, it's safe.
It's safe.
So have you had to distinguish between the two?
Yeah. As of now, we have a system which promotes bought out as a more than the used items.
So buying, so there's no risk of
So the traveler is very comfortable that he himself has bought the item.
So there's nothing
problem
illegal with it.
So when we put a new item, then the reward associated with the item is more than the used item. So if you are buying new, you have a potential to earn 10%.
So is it a risk if I have to buy, say, someone an item in India, I have to spend the money, but the person at the other end, do they always pay, or have people ever not paid? Or
there was such a risk, and then initially people will only trust the people whom they know, their own circle or their own friends. As of now, everybody is doing that. In fact,
but they're doing it informally. They're phoning up and saying, "Can you bring this over?" So I used to get this from India all the time. Can you bring these medicines? Can you do this?
Medicines, or people get iPhone from US, or a pair of branded shoes from US. So now, if somebody is traveling from the place where you want something and he buys the stuff himself, then he knows that he is comfortable to bring it in, and then when he puts the item price $100, then he earns 10%, that is $10 if he buys a new thing. If he buys a used thing and he puts in the category of used, then he earns 5% of it. But we didn't have...
But why? Because a used thing will cost less. Shouldn't they get 10% as well, I'd have thought?
Yeah, but the used thing is also dependent on what person puts the price. We don't have control on that. If the item is less priced but more valued for the wanter, then he can, if the medicine or such thing, or if the person who is having a bath with a certain soap from his country and he wants that particular soap, then the price may be less, but the value of that item for him is more. So he's ready to pay more for it.
Does this work to the UK as well? Because maybe I can try it as well.
Yeah, it works. We are getting stuff from the lady who is our marketing lady, Dawn. She asked to bring especially some kind of beans that she likes from UK to Copenhagen with the person traveling here. So
okay,
it's.
I had an idea because when I grew up in an Asian community in the UK. Does it make sense? Like I'm thinking a very strong way to get the demand side is this, because Asian communities are so strong, like the mosques and the temples and the Asian societies, to go maybe in the UK, to go there and say, look, we have this service. If you need things brought from India, is this something which could make sense? Because
this makes a perfect sense. In fact, in the weekends, what we were doing, we targeted certain student hostels which we have in Copenhagen. Student hostels are such places where students and youngsters, they come and they stay there.
But they're from all parts of the world. I'm talking about Indian only.
Yeah. Between India and UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be the religious items or the
No, but even just so many food products, it's so many people in the Indians in the UK.
Yeah.
That I think that actually could make a lot of sense for you.
Yeah, we have targeted that. Even for Copenhagen, India, we have targeted that.
But do you get Indian only communities here?
Yeah. And food item is one of the things that we get target. Other thing is the documents. My own papers, which are government papers, needs to be submitted for PF, the pension fund, for the old job. And that needs to be transferred to my old office. And before doing that, you need to put a revenue stamp. That is a country's 1 rupee stamp on it. And I can get the form downloaded here from the internet. I can fill it, but I cannot get that stamp here.
Okay.
And the stamp needs to be put, and then only form needs to be submitted to the government office. But I found a guy who was traveling from Denmark to India, and yesterday I met him. I gave him the form and I explained him that you need to give it. He is traveling to Baroda, where my old office is. And I told him that you just need to give it to my office after putting this stamp. So he will buy the stamp, put it and give it.
Okay. And
So
he's willing to do that when he goes over there.
Yeah. So no courier company can do this.
But how much? Okay, so that's the extra values.
Yeah.
It's the actual work people do on top of it.
Yeah.
And how much do you pay him to do that extra on top?
All in all, I just paid him was, what I totally invested was traveling to his place where we met. His office and my office are both in Sobok, so it was very less travel where I met him. Then apart from one beer, I paid him just 50 crores to do this. So for him, it's 500 rupees, and then he's happy to do that.
Okay.
Putting 1 rupee stamp and submitting that.
So this depends on there being an inequality between the value, the currency in one country and another. So it wouldn't work in the same way between two Western countries, would it? Because if someone's in Copenhagen, they wouldn't take out 2 hours of their day to go and get a stamp on a document for 50 crores.
No, not for the document. But if he wants some exotic souvenir from Africa, and there is some guy traveling from Africa, then the Danish guy will pay him to.
Yeah, because for the other guy it's worth more. So it has to be countries which are different.
From low cost to high cost.
Yeah, correct. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Or within the same country, if people are traveling within the borders and now they want something which really makes more value for them, like forgotten keys or forgotten phone or something like that.
Okay. So, before we close up, so what's the next steps for your company?
When we started participating in many competitions, and we started...
How many competitions have you been in?
Around 7 worthwhile of good level.
What's the thing that you get from each competition? Does it make your business plan better? Does it give you a clearer vision? What's the main benefit?
Yeah. First of all, it gives a right contacts with many people because the
and investors.
Investors. Judges are often investors.
Okay.
In such competitions. That is first. Second, many people that you talk to as a forum when you make your pitch, then you get potential users which can relate to their stories. That, oh, if I forget something, I can use the service. Another thing is, if you win, then you get seed funding. So the last competition which we won in Helsinki, there we did get some funding as a seed capital. So they need us to register a company in Finland now, and then we can use that fund.
So you have investors at the moment then?
Yeah.
Through these.
Yeah, through this.
And what about competition? Is there competition
There is
to what you're doing at the moment? Because you can just copy whatever's working if you see that as well.
Yeah.
Do you copy them or what? How does that work?
We are all struggling at the same level as of now.
Okay.
So in terms of users, in terms of challenges, in terms of getting it accepted.
So it's kind of like LinkedIn in the early days where there was a lot of professional networks, but no one had figured out how to make this like viral and how to make it explode.
Yes.
And so
how to make
it's either going to be you or one of the others. So one of you has to figure it out.
Yes.
Okay. So sorry, are you telling me about what your next steps are?
What I was...
You went to the competitions.
Yes. In competition, see, the travel industry overall is, as of date, if you take total travel industry, that is the people traveling plus the hotel business plus the things moving all over the world in logistics, the whole travel industry is pegged at $3 trillion. It's a $3 trillion business. Now, if you only come to the packages which are being transferred, there are 3 billion packages that are transferred every year.
By who? DHL?
By two biggest companies which we took the data from.
So you were telling me that the biggest companies in the space are FedEx and...
FedEx and DHL are two of the biggest. There are others also. But when we started making our business plan, when we made our lean canvas and when we were seeing the business potential, how much business potential it is actually. Because everybody the investor we start meeting, they start with that question. So we saw that if those two companies' data are showing that there are 3 billion packages which are being transferred, and there are millions of travelers that are traveling. If we match those two, then the business potential in 5 years that this service can generate is $70 million.
But have you got a plan to dominate one niche first before you expand out?
That is what we are. There is always a new niche that comes after failing at working on one niche.
I still see the UK Asian population, Indian population, like maybe going to Southall in England, going to Southall and offering this service to everyone is a very good niche. If you can dominate that, you can move out. Yeah, that's a very good niche and a big niche.
Yeah,
as well.
But UK does have many Indian. What you can't find in Copenhagen in terms of Indian items, in UK you can find that.
Okay, that's a good issue because you go to Southall and you can find these items.
Yeah, you can find a South Indian restaurant. You can find a pani puri, which is a very street food. Even the street food is available.
But does that offer a kind of chicken and egg problem? So the places where they don't have this problem, there might not be enough Indian people. Yeah. And the places which need it is because there might not be enough. Okay, and that's something you have to figure out going forward.
And now I really now started thinking on that front that if the travelers and the wanters, this is fully people-based idea. We need people, and in India we have lots of them. So
which is the hardest one, the wanters or the travellers to get? It's the wanters.
Wanters are in current. If I see the current statistics on the website, then the wanters are there already. Okay. Because people have wish. They have one wish. They put it and it's there. But the travellers put the travel, and if the date goes away, then the travel starts decreasing.
So you need to figure out the way to get the wanters to inform the travellers. So does this make sense to? So, but you can't advertise in the. Are you allowed to have someone outside an airport? I know what Indian airports are like, and they have a guy with a machine gun outside.
Yeah.
I know, I've seen this in Bangalore airport.
Yeah.
And other airports as well. It's kind of scary, actually,
Yeah.
isn't it? And so, are you allowed to have a guy standing outside the airport giving these leaflets?
I doubt outside of airport it's difficult, but there are other ways.
Or maybe from Copenhagen, because if they're in India, they're coming to Copenhagen. But if they're in Copenhagen, they're going to India at the time, then on the way back, they might know they're going to come back soon. So does it make sense to give them in Copenhagen airport instead, the leaflets?
Yeah. Giving at airport is one of the things that we can do, but the one thing which we are now trying is that in every airport, in every airline, sorry, you find the flying magazine that they run inside.
Yeah, sure.
And all the magazine, there is a one column for innovations and new technology. The editors, they put some new items every month. They need something to put there. So we have some editors' emails which we are corresponding regularly, and we were on the Business World. The editor of Business World was happy about the idea, and he put it. So now if they put our story...
What is Business World, just for people?
Business World is one of the leading Indian business magazine.
Okay.
They ran the story on the cover page. And then this type of magazine stories, they give very good reputation and the belief in the people.
Okay, sure.
So if the people are in the aeroplane, usually they try to read it. The magazine is one of their favorite passing time tool there.
Oh, they put it in the airplane?
Yeah. If you have an article being in the magazine.
Sure.
So that is one way to do it.
But you need it at every flight going to India that people can know about your service.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? How about something with an airline to say?
Yeah.
But then you start to get into a big marketing cost.
Yeah, there's a big marketing cost. But if there are some, during my last visit to India, we did meet some of the tour operators, the private tour operators, which operate the tours for the people who want to travel. And then we told them that if you give your contact of the people traveling through you, then we will be happy to share the profit that we earn with you. So if they share us the users' data with the users' acknowledgement, then their users also have chance to earn the money during their trip. So if they are going to Thailand.
But how about they can offer this, is there somewhere they could offer this as part of their service or something?
They can. But they have not yet agreed to do that.
You could also sponsor them, and you could recommend their airline or tour operator or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll close off now.
Yeah.
So thanks very much for today.
Welcome. You're welcome.
And we'll talk offline as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.